Hello guys, I'm really sorry that I didn't make a video once again. I was sort of busy with like a quiz that I was meant to do like today. And let's just say it's been hell for me. And also, I'm also kind of like really tired, so even though it's going to be like Saturday, which is a weekend, which is going to be the weekends, well, I'm going to be making this a pretty short episode, so I'm really sorry for that. Anyway, continue on. Hello guys, I am back from another video, and today we're talking about what if Belle had the ability to summon heroic spirits. So in the last video we talked about how we're just gonna be, gonna be skipping like a few of the stuff there, more specifically how they basically came back, blah blah blah, things of that sort. But either way, after coming back, they would meet up with with the rest of the Hestia Familia, but also see members of the Ishtar Familia talking to them. After a bit of talking and also just wanting to talk to Belle, but most of them don't really want to because after getting the information from Hestia and Loba, well, let's just say they're not really trusting towards, the Ishtar Familia all that much. But after that, they would start leaving because, let's just say they're not really welcome there. But after they left, well, Belle is planning to basically get some sleep, or at least, decides to get some shut-eye. He would get interrupted by a completely in heat bet. You know where this is going. Let's just say he's gonna say goodbye to his pelvis. He's about to. Actually, no, I'm not saying that. That sounds a bit dark. But either way, after, lassoing him and basically grabbing him and basically just like, running off to basically go to to the Loki Familia to basically have, you know, let's just say her fun time while Belle is gonna be suffering the most painful way imaginable. Or at least for some people, if you're brave enough to say the least. But either way, after that, they would, we would see, Bad Vasky, bring him to the, to her room, and let's just say goodbye to Belle, or at least his pelvis. And as for, the Ishtar Familia, meanwhile, they're currently, trying to find Belle so they can, capture him and basically bring them, or at least bring him to, to the City of Lust to basically, to basically lure in, um, you know, Freya, aka Miss Yandere. Actually, Miss Stalker than anything else, but either way, after locating him, which apparently, they apparently heard that that Belle and, Beth's relationship is a bit, let's just say interesting to say the least, and so they would start following, the destruction, the instructions of some of the, people nearby to basically go to the Loki Familia and capture Belle. After a bit of fun time because it was an 18 plus episode last time, both of them would be knocked out silly. And after that, you know, we also go to, to the, you know, to the Hestia Familia, and they decide to try and, get Belle back after their little, session. And so, some of his heroic spirits basically started leaving to go there. After arriving there, we also see the Ishtar Familia basically coming in and basically capturing Belle. But while they're basically leaving, they were spotted by some of the members of the, Loki Familia. And after basically telling them, more specifically some of his heroic spirits, well, let's just say they're pissed. And so they would start getting ready to basically leave. More specifically, some of the, people there. Or more specifically, some of the, members of the, Ishtar Familia. And so they would finally leave. So yeah, that is where we basically ended off the episode. And so, let us talk about what happens next, ladies and gents. Oh boy, let's just say it's gonna be chaotic. So, we currently see Belle as he's currently, knocked out, or at least somewhat, as you would say this. What happened, he would say, as he would say this. Oh yeah. As he was trying to, at least try to move his legs, as he would say. I absolutely hate how I basically, get submitted to this, he would say to himself, as he would also say this. But damn, why does she feel so good, he would say. As after saying that, he would try to, get up. Or at least sort of. As after sitting up, he would notice that he's in a cage. as he would say this. Wait, where the hell am I? He would say. As after saying that, he would look around and would see that he's basically in a large city. More specifically, a red light district, as he would start saying to himself, am I dreaming? He would say, as a person would say this. Sorry, but unfortunately you're not, said a girl's voice. As after saying that, he would look over and would see one of the Amazonesses from the Ishtar familia, as she would say this. Oh, hi, she would say, as she would say this. Wait, where am I? And why am I in the cage? She would say, as she would say this. Well, because you didn't, didn't ally with us, so unfortunately you're going to be working uncooperatively. Actually, it's more like, you're being forced to work with us, she would say. As after saying that, she would have a happy smile. As Belle would say this. God dang it, he would say. As he would say this. Oh yeah, my sword, he would say. As he would start trying to look around and would see that his sword is not with him. Or any of his weapons. Or at least sort of. I mean, he does have his pistols, but he doesn't realize that for now. Actually, no. It's more like, some of the, Amazonesses are trying to, they're basically holding up his guns. Actually, they don't even know what are these. Like, what are the hell are the guns? Like, they don't really know what the hell are guns at all. So they're basically just going like, what is this? Said one of them. But either way, we go back to Belle as he would say this. Why? He would say. As she would say this. Well, our mistress just wants to, let's just say, use you, she would say, as she would have a dark smile, as Belle would start thinking to himself, oh god, it's like bed again, he would say to himself, as after saying that, he would start, looking around and would see several people having a bit of fun, even some already doing it in the streets, as it would cause him to think, do they really have no, dignity to do that, inside somewhere at least, he would say to himself, as he would shake his head, as he would say this, just ignore it for now, as he would look over and would see some of the, members of the Freya familia, not Freya, I meant, some of the members of the, of the Ishtar familia finally arriving at a large, pot of land. Not really a pot of land, but more like, a large, mansion, which seems to be, the actual, Ishtar familia household, which kind of caused him to basically frown a little bit, thinking to himself, I just hope it's not going to be like Betty thinks in his mind, as he would start, moving out of the way a little bit, or more specifically, trying to move, a little bit away, from the prying eyes of, some of the Ishtar familia members, as after arriving at a large gate, one of them specifically, Aisha would say this, hey, as one of them would say this, specifically one of the guards, ah, Miss Aisha, you finally arrived, he would say, as she would say this, yeah, now, listen, she would say, as he would say this, very well, he would say, as the man would slowly open the gate, and after doing so, they would they would instantly start to walk in, including Izuku, not Izuku, I meant Belle in the cage. Sorry about that, wait for a second. As after, a bit of walking, they would finally arrive at the large, estate. As the, cage doors would basically open, as one of the Amazonesses would say this. Hey, you can come out now, said one of them. As, he would say this. Well, you see, I can't walk, he would say. Said, Belle, as one of them would say this. Wait, really? As he would say this. Yeah, unfortunately, every time when she, actually, I'm not even gonna say it, he would say, as one would say this. Oh, I see. So she's the rough type, said, one of the Amazonesses, which somehow has a even larger chest than, Aisha herself. As, one of them would say this. Ara, it seems to be quite the dilemma, she would say, as one of them would say this. How about I carry, what if I carry him, said, one of them. Specifically, one that seems to be, flat chest. Flatter as a board, to say the least. Actually, flatter than my wall. Oh, God. And it's saying something. Let's just say that. And after, saying so, he would say this. Oh, no, 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 you don't really need to. But before he can, she would basically grab him by the legs and would basically carry him piggyback ride style. As Belle would basically, hold on to dear life. As she would say this. Whoa, you didn't really need to do, you don't really need to do it that close, she would say. As she would have a nice smile on her face. As she would say this. As you would start stuttering a little bit, as one of them would say this. Is he really Belle Cornell, the famous, the famous monster slayer, said one of them, as one of them would say this. Well, he is, but it seems that he's a bit shy around girls, said, a pretty much amused, one of the members of the, I guess you could say the kidnapping group, as one of them say this. Ara, that's kinda cute, she would say, as Aisha would say this. Now, we should probably get to the throne room, she would say, as after saying that, they would slowly start walking to the throne room, or at least that's what they call it. As currently Belle is thinking to himself, how do I get out of this situation, he would say to himself, as after a while walking, we would also see some members of the, Ishtar family looking at him. Mostly some girls, which they were obviously blushing after seeing him, but most of them were glaring at the one that's basically carrying Belle. Some of the guys were basically wondering, why is he, why is his legs not working, said one of them, as one of them would say this. Well, I heard he's actually, going on, basically in a relationship with one of the Loki familiar members, said one of them, as he would say this. Really, then, who did, as one of them would say this. Well, it's apparently Bet. As one of them would say this. Wait, you mean the tomboy one? Said one of them, as he would say this. Well, yeah, apparently she, let's just say, has a lot of fun, to the point that it basically causes his legs to no longer work. As one of them would say this. I actually wondered how he survived that, said one of them, as one of them would say this. I don't know, maybe intense, training or something, said one of them, as he would say this. Yeah, sure, if he's that intense of a trainer, said one of them, as he would say this. Don't underestimate the kid just because of his size, said one of them. I mean, besides, you basically want to talk, said one of them, as he would say this. Hey, what is that supposed to mean? While wielding a large-ass sword, as one of them would say this. Overcompensating for something, he would say, as he would say this. Oh, shut up, Dave! But after doing so, we go back to Belle. As Belle and the rest of the, of the kidnapping, crew would start, would start walking around the estate, and then they would finally arrive at the large corridor. As after doing so, they would slowly open the door, and they would see a girl, or at least a beautiful chocolate, skinned woman, with a pretty much a revealing ass dress. Actually, I don't even consider that as a freaking dress than anything else. It's mostly just cloth, basically lazily, draped all over her, and it's colored red, by the way. So, as she would also have purplish hair and purplish eyes, as she would say this. So, this must be the famous Belle Cornell. But before she could say anything else, she would say, wait, why is he, why is he, on your back? Why is he on your back, Serene, she would say, as she would say this. Oh, you see, he's sort of well, as she would slowly start putting Belle down, as he would say this. As, he would slowly be put down, as one of them would basically carry him instead. More specifically, one of the more burlier ones. Just imagine, what's a good example? That Fire Force character. I can't remember the actual name of her, but she's the one that's basically able to, summon those, fire, spirit things or whatever. I don't really know Fire Force all that much. Besides, some of the, let's just say, interesting art. But either way, after being carried by her, as she would say this. Well, this is certainly, as you would say this, embarrassing, he would say, as she would say this. Well, I think it's more adorable than anything else, she would say, as you would say this. I feel pathetic, he would say. As after, arriving to her, specifically Serena, which is apparently the name of that Amazoness, would start, whispering into her ear, as she would say this. As she would slowly start to laugh a little bit, as more laughter would be heard, as some of the members of the, Ishtar familia were kind of confused and somewhat scared. As she would say this, oh my God, she would say, I can't believe something of that sort actually happened. She would say, as she would say this, oh, I can't believe it. The actual Bill Cornell actually being that type of person, she would say. As she would slowly start looking at Belle, as you would say this. What is that supposed to mean? He would say, as she would say this. Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you being, a bit of the more submissive type, she would say, as it would cause Belle to become a little bit, stutterish, as she would say, as she would say this. Oh, but either way, girls, she would say, as, some of the girls would, would look up, as she would say this. I want you to at least, take care of the boy. And also, make sure to have a little bit of fun with him. I will be having my, my time with him later. But for now, you will do whatever you want with him. But, I have one request of you. Try not to let her know, she would say. As after saying that, all the girls would basically, run off with Belle, as after doing so, she would say this. I just hope that she doesn't get to him first. After all, I don't want him to be corrupted. At least for now, she would say. As she would slowly start licking her lips. As we go back to Belle. As Belle is being carried by some of the girls, as he would say this. Where are we going? He would say, as she would say this, specifically the one that's carrying him. Oh, nothing, she would say with a malicious smile, as he would say this. Why do I have the feeling that my loins are going to be saying, please kill me? Yeah, probably. But either way, we go back to Aurario, as we clearly see some of the members of the Ishtar familia, not Ishtar, I meant, Freya, Loki, which, by the way, Loki is forced to do it, mostly because of their alliance with the Hestia familia, and also some of his heroic spirits, basically getting ready to try and rescue Belle, as Bet is basically giving on a speech to basically, rally up the troops. Even though it's more like a rant how they're going to be basically beating up, the Ishtar familia for basically stealing, and I quote, her mate. And there was also something noticeable on her, well, But either way, she seems to have a little bit of a, let's just say, rounder belly, to say the least. But either way, she would also seem to be a little bit more, well, docile, I guess. As she also seems to be not going to be a part of the actual battle between, the Ishtar and also, the other, familias. Or at least I'm just going to be calling them the Allied Forces, because that's basically what they are. As Bet is currently, basically seems to be, not really in the mood of basically fighting. And so after being told this, they would slowly start to get ready for the fight. So, as we go back to Belle. Belle is currently in a room. As he's, in the room, there was also a few of the, Ishtar familia members basically, watching him. As, Belle is currently, getting tended to by his legs. At least getting tended to by some of the, Ishtar familia members, which were mostly girls. Concern. Actually, I'm probably going to be saying that a lot, because especially with the, with my, one of my other, what ifs that are going to be coming up after this one, and also the others. More specifically, what if what if Deku was in MGE, or otherwise known as Monster Girl Encyclopedia. Which, by the way, I'm going to be making a little bit of a voting system right now. Basically, I want all of you guys to pick on, or at least pick, some monster girls, from that series. And if you don't know what I mean, well, just go to this specific website, which, by the way, I'm not going to be, searching it up actually. Actually, not really searching it up per se, but more like, I'm going to be showing it to you guys, and you're going to be going there and basically searching up some monsters to basically pick for Belle's harem. Or at least Deku's harem, I meant. So just comment down below in this video, or in the, in the future videos that are going to be coming up soon. But either way, just go to this website. Yeah, just go to this specific website over here. Yeah, this one. This exact one. And that's where you're going to be, searching up some of the monster girls from that series. My favorite currently are probably, either the Cursed Sword, mostly because I can just imagine, maybe, Deku probably having that as, like, his weapon. And let's just say I can also imagine, the Cursed Sword basically, going into his dreams and just, like, going, like, alright, it's time to get some monitor. Actually, yeah, I can actually imagine that, because if you don't know, in that series, let's just say, the so-called, like, magic energy is... and I can also imagine him becoming an incubus. I'm pretty much dying inside right now. So yeah, anyway, continue on with the episode. As we go back to, Belle, as Belle is basically being tended to by some of the, Ishtar Familia members, which were mostly girls, as they're basically taking care of his legs. As he would say this, God, it feels relaxing, he would say. It's been a while since I ever done something like this, he would say. As one of them would say this. So, Mr. Cornell, said one of them, as he would say this. Yeah, he would say, as one of them would say this. Well, about your weapons, one of them would say, as he would say this. Oh, really, he would say, as one of them would say this. Yeah, we sort of, like, store them, like, nearby, but we won't let you touch them. Or at least for now, said one of them, as he would say this. Oh, I see, he would say, as one of them would say this. Well, we also wanted to ask you this. What exactly is your weapons exactly? Like, seriously, they're definitely not normal, and even though we heard some, some people basically getting, getting these specific weapons from this NFF services, company, but we don't really know what are, what exactly those weapons are, and don't know how to function it, at least use it, at least, said one of them, as he would say this. Well, it's actually sort of like, how do I say this, he would say, as he would start, sorry about that, as he would start scratching the back of his, head, as he would say this. Actually, it's a bit complicated, to say the least, he would say, as one of them would say this. Oh, I see then, said one of them, as one of the girls would say this. Oh, and, Mr. Bell, as one of them would, after saying that, he would say this. Yeah, he would say, as one of them would say this. Well, did you, lost your, as he would say this. Yeah. Let's just say Beth was in her heat, and let's just say, he would say, as he would start getting a little bit of flashback. Oh boy, just imagine back. Way back. Like earlier, in this series. When they first had their... Yep. God dang it. As one of them would say this. Oh, I see, said one of them. As he would say this. Yeah, let's just say it was a interesting night, he would say. As one of them would say this. Oh, and by the way, Mr. Bell, said one of them, as he would say this. Yeah, he would say, as one of them would say this. Are you perhaps, a masochist, said one of them, as he would start, standing up, as he would say this. Not really standing up, but more like, how do I say this? Yeah, more like, sitting up, as he would say this. What do you mean by that, he would say. Sorry about that, wait for a second. Sorry about that. Anyway, continuing on with the episode, as we go back to, Belle, as, one of them would see this. Oh, yeah. I mean, you're definitely, right. I mean, we actually heard some stories about you basically being dragged all the way to... Wait for a second. Going back to, to the episode. Anyway, continuing on, as one of them would say this. Yeah, we actually heard some stories about you basically being dragged by Beth to basically go to... Well, let's just say her bed chambers, said one of them, as you would say this. It doesn't mean that I'm a freaking masochist, you would say, as one of them would say this. "Oh, really?" said one of them. As, one of them would basically get the rope as you would start, becoming a little bit nervous as you would say this. Hey, get that away from me, he would say, as one of them would say this. "Oh, don't worry," she would say. "We'll be gentle," she would say, as some of the, members of the Ishtar family would also get ready. Basically having sadistic smirks. And most of them were, Amazonesses, and they know, and you probably know why they're doing this. Because remember, they like strong men, and they want to have strong children, so let's just say they're gonna be having a good time. And I'm also probably gonna be adding, a zombie dragon. If you don't know. In the Monster Girl Encyclopedia series, there's a monster known as a zombie dragon, and just read up on the lore. Actually, I'll search up actually, let me just show you. Go to this specific channel, or this specific playlist. I absolutely love how they actually freaking made this. Like, seriously, this is absolutely helpful for me if I'm going to be making this a series. And this certain, monster known as a zombie dragon, well, you'll probably know why I love this one. Because, oh boy, when I finally get to her in, in that series, well, this is gonna be chaotic to say the least. So yeah, anyway, as they would start grabbing the rope, as they would start tying Belle up, as Belle's arms and legs are basically pinned up towards, each of the four corners of the, the bedroom, let's just say that, or, of the bed. As you says, "Please, somebody help me!" He would start screaming out, as one of them would basically gag him, as she would say this. "Oh, sorry," said, one of them, as one of them would say this. "Yeah, unfortunately, you're gonna be, well, occupied," she would say, as one of them would say this. "Yeah, so, unfortunately, you're gonna be, well, a little, as I'm just going to be, C-U-M Bank." Guess what the C-U-M mean? Actually, just god dang it. As, one of them would say this. "Now, let's begin," she would say a few minutes later. I'm not gonna be making this an 18 plus video right now because too tired, remember? Either way, as after the session end, almost all of the Amazonesses were either, knocked out or just so, well, yeah, just imagine they fucked, the face, actually, what is that called again? Yeah, fucked silly face, yeah. Just imagine that specific face. Yeah, that's basically what they're feeling right now. As currently, Belle is currently just his eyes are glazed over as he would say this. "I can't feel my legs anymore again," he would say. As after saying that, we're going to be sort of ending this episode right off here, sort of. So, we go back to, to the Alliance, as we currently see them basically going towards, well, the City of Lust, as one of them would say this. So Lobo, as Lobo would say this. "Yes, fellow heroic spirit," he would say, as he would look over to Burgeist, as she would say this. "I want you to scout out the area, and then we'll attack," she would say, as Juskus would say this. It's been a while since I had to stretch my legs," as she would start, getting ready to, for a fight, as she would say this. "Now, let's show them why we're known as the Templar Knights," she would say. As one of them, one of them would say this. Specifically, Hephaestion. "Yes, we'll be taking care of this. Right, Melusine," she would say, as she would say this. Very well," she would say, as she would start skating across the ground with her, with her ability to use water. And after saying that, we're going to be ending this episode right off here. So yeah, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!